Some of you may have noticed, but have been too polite to point out, I may hasten to add, that I've been struggling with the sound a little bit on the last few films. And the reason for this is my main DSLR mic has died. And the reason I didn't rush out to buy a new one is because I've been through two in the last 12 months and they cost about $500 each. Really expensive. They just don't last. So I thought I'd do a bit of an investigation into how I approach the sound on these videos and in fact maybe do a bit of a mic off. Now, if I appear to be on the verge of a nervous breakdown, this is because this is my 9th attempt at this and this is like full attempts. It's taken me 2 days to get to this point and the reason being I've overcomplicated stuff massively. I'm testing 5 different microphones on 3 cameras, so GH5S, GH5, GH5. Why do I have so many GH5s? Well, this one broke when I fell over on Arthur's seat. It took a month to fix, so I had to get this as a spare backup, and whilst I was using this, the GH5S came out, which I thought would make a better vlogging camera, but it doesn't have image stabilization. It's great in low light, so this is why the GH5S tends to just perch on that stand over there. I'm using the microphone setup that I used in film 104, which is the Sanken Lav mic, or Lavalier mic, which goes into this rather clever Tascam SD recorder. The battery life on this is fantastic. You can record for hours and hours and hours onto these clever little SD cards. I also used the Shure DSLR mic, which is a unidirectional mono microphone, and that's about all I can say about it that's even mildly positive. It's an absolute travesty of a microphone. The battery life doesn't seem to last very long. It's over-engineered, so you can record to an SD slot within the microphone. Don't really see the point of that. The mic sounds awful. It's mono. It's got a terrible noise floor, and the hot shoe doesn't stay in the hot shoe of the microphone, so it's constantly falling out. Now, you could say, well, what do you expect if you're going to buy a Shure microphone for that amount of money, like a couple of $100s? I have one answer for you, Shure. SM58. Best mic in the world, $100. Don't get it. Don't get it at all. I bought a new VideoMic X. Now, this was my preferred mic for my DSLR. This is the dual-in Rhodes Crown. I have tried the other DSLR microphones that Rode makes. The entry-level one is the worst engineered piece of kit I've ever experienced. It's like it came out of a cracker. The VideoMic Pro, just to me, sounds bloody awful. This has a great sound. It's got an XY pattern. The only kind of drawback of that is it has a kind of omni field. So a lot of you will comment on my heavy breathing from time to time when I'm pointing the mic away from me. This is not because I have some kind of terrible heart condition. It's actually because the microphone's quite close to me and it has a real omni field, so it really feels like it's capturing everything. The battery life is fantastic and I love the stereo image. It, on the whole, stays in the hot shoe okay. So what I've found with this, after about 4 or 5 months, these capsules basically come loose from their casings and you get a situation where you have a microphone that's like one of those sets of glasses that ping out. So I've been through 2 sets of these microphones in just 12 months, which is quite a serious kind of undertaking considering the price. I've got 2 reference mics, the Electro Voice RE20, a favourite of American radio stations, I believe, and referred to in some parts of the world as the elephant cock. It has a real sound to it, but I love that kind of radio-ish sound. The only problem I have is it sounds better the closer you are, and it's prone to popping, even though it's got these side chambers that are designed to reduce popping, allegedly. And then I've got a special guest here, which is why I have the pop shield up, a Neumann U67 reissue, which is, I've got to find out more about this thing, but it's beautifully packaged, beautifully engineered, and be interested to hear the sound. Now, for me, when testing microphones, headphones, and speakers, I believe, and I learnt this from Harbath, I believe the best thing to listen to is the spoken voice. It doesn't need to be a voice that you're familiar with. It's simply the most familiar thing that we have to listen to. So if I go like this, you know what's wrong with this signal. It has a muffled kind of sound. The top end's disappearing. You can tell that instantly being a fellow human being. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically improvise some pros into this, and then we'll switch between the different microphones, and I will offer up my initial verdicts. So Sweet words, butter no parsnips, unless there's cabbage available, at which point I will eschew the parsnip in favour of cabbage, particularly if it is served with a lot of gravy. Sweet words, butter no parsnips, unless there's cabbage available, at which point I will eschew the parsnip in favour of cabbage, particularly if it is served with a lot of gravy. Sweet words, butter no parsnips, unless there's cabbage available, at which point I will eschew the parsnip in favour of cabbage, particularly if it is served with a lot of gravy. Sweet words, butter no parsnips, unless there's cabbage available, at which point I will eschew the parsnip in favour of cabbage, particularly if it is served with a lot of gravy. Sweet words, butter no parsnips, unless there's cabbage available, at which point I will eschew the parsnip in favour of cabbage, particularly if it is served with a lot of gravy. That was queer. Right, so for me, the Shure is just simply a non-runner. If I actually turn off my aircon, one second. So this is a quiet room, so let's just have a listen to the noise floor alone. It's a bit of an oopsie, really. Right, aircon back on, because it's really hot out there. I think the sound quality is awful. The only thing going for it is unidirectional. I'm really impressed by the lav mic, but find, particularly if you look at this clip, your comments. And I do hope you keep commenting, because it's not me who makes this channel. It has a slightly displaced character. That scene to me looks like it's been ADR'd because I'm at such a distance from the camera. But what I do enjoy about it is I don't have to project out to the camera, which is about 10 feet away, because my voice sounds awful, as you've probably noticed, when I project out. This, I think, is absolutely fantastic, but again has a very omni field about it, so it doesn't have that kind of directionality that I'm looking for in a vlogging camera. Love the RE20, it has that kind of radio quality to it. U67, well, I'll get back to you on that. If there's anything you'd like me to record as a test signal with the U67 to kind of bench test it, I'll try and accommodate. So I think, in conclusion, what I'm going to be doing moving forward is using a combination of the Sanken lav mic and the Video Mic X. And I think a good example of how I can use it is with that clip that I showed you before. If I add a wild track from this footage and combine that with the other footage, it sounds like this. Is your comments, and I do hope you keep commenting, because it's not me who makes this channel, which I think you'll agree is a more agreeable, immersive and believable set of audio. If you guys have any other suggestions, I'd be really interested to try them out. Anyway, back to Film 104. I kind of mentioned that something really big is happening down in London. We've been here for 4 years, and something I never kind of envisaged being a problem was the amount of poos that we have to dispose of. Basically, there's too many, so we're moving over there. 3 really big floors of sound making and experimentation and journal designs and lab creation. Very, very exciting, if not nerve-wracking. Now, one of the great advantages of this new location is it's even closer to the pub. So I thought it would be fun to document the process of building a new HQ for an exciting new chapter at Spitfire, new edit suites, new recording studios. So this is literally week 1. Our landlord got the keys back from the tenant, and they're basically stripping it back to a core. So this is the ground floor. What I'm particularly excited about is there's light coming through both aspects, which we don't have in the existing HQ, which makes it a bit kind of dingy at points. But there's a huge amount of space, as you can see. So this is going to be basically a communal area. It's where we're going to be doing presentations, greeting clients and partners and creative collaborators, and just a kind of a great space that's going to be a real kind of statement of who we are. It's got the stairs. How you doing? I wasn't going to even attempt to speak above that racket. So basically that's going to be, I hate using the word clerical, but that's basically where accounts, marketing, customer experience is going to be based. Basically the slightly more desky parts of our operation, and then this is the top floor. You don't know, you're right. And this is where all of the edit suites and recording studios are going to be based. And what's great about this site is, unlike the other one where we just looked out on a kind of an Italian food manufacturers, there is actually some quite nice views of London. So that's off to the Shard, and then to the right of it is St Paul's Cathedral, the Gherkins just poking up above those buildings there. You can see the Barbican. And this is the train line that I come in on in the mornings, so I'll be able to wave to the troops as I draw into King's Cross. So basically, it's going to be 2 weeks of stripping back, and then we're going to spec out the studios and edit suites with a great, fantastic guy called Chris Walls, who's built our last studios, brilliant designer, and slowly start building our new home, hopefully for the next kind of 5 years at least. And we'll be moving in September, and it's the first week of May, so it's going to be quite a quick process. Really excited though. So if you haven't yet subscribed, hit subscribe. If you want to be notified when I put up new videos, hit the little bell button, and if you like what I do, hit like. See you again soon.